Hi guys, I'm Kasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome to our coffee times. Today I'm here to talk to you about a new South Korean horror movie released by Netflix, and it's called The Call.
It's coffee time.
So actually when I saw the trailer, when I saw the poster, I assumed this was horror, but it's actually described as science fiction, thriller, mystery, and it is funny because it also has traces of horror, definitely, and traces of fantasy. It is like such an interesting merge and combination of genres, and I was like, I need to check this movie out. Plus, I really love South Korean movies. In the last years, they've been bringing out so many interesting movies that I knew I had to check it out. So anyways, before we dive into the movie review, spoiler free as always, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more coffee times. This movie, like I mentioned, it is a Netflix exclusive South Korean movie directed by Lee Chung-hyun, and it is described officially as a thriller science fiction mystery. The plot of the movie, and I'm only going to mention the very beginning because the movie is really easy to get spoiled and I don't want to do that to you guys, so I'm only going to mention the very beginning of the movie and keeping it fairly vague. So the premise of this story, it is that there are two women and they are in two different time periods, and they end up talking to each other over a phone, and they kind of start this relationship, this friendship. So we follow our main character that after forgetting her phone in a train on the way home, she gets back to her house where she grew up, and she uses the landline to try to connect to her lost phone. So then she starts receiving calls from somebody that she doesn't know, and at the beginning she just thinks that it's somebody that has the wrong number, but at some point she starts to speak to these other women, and they end up, finding out that they're both women that are both 28 years old, and apparently there's way more things that connect them to each other. So that is really the very beginning of the movie and how these two women start talking to each other. They have 20 years apart, so one is in 1999 and the other one is in 2019, I believe, and how they by talking start to discover things. So that's basically how I'm gonna keep it at the beginning. I'm gonna keep it vague. This movie is nearly 2 hours long. Is it worth it? I think so. Like, we're used to having these great visuals, this great atmosphere from South Korean movies, and this is none less. The white shots that we get in this movie are fantastic. The camera movement is fantastic. I absolutely love this movie. And also I loved it because it is full of twists and turns that you're not gonna see coming. Maybe some you will kind of see, but it is just a roller coaster that it doesn't leave you breathe until the very end. Like, you don't have a second to stop being engaged in the movie. You're all the time trying to guess what's happening, and it always keeps turning on you. One of the things that I wanted to mention that I don't know if it was an intended Easter egg or not is that this girl, when she's in her childhood home, she finds an old picture, and the picture has the date 26th of November 1999, and this movie was officially released on the 26th of November. So I was like, wait, did we do that on purpose? I don't know, but I just thought it was kind of cute. The movie has a lot of different little topics that are being addressed. It's about family, it's about grief, it's about loss, it's about losing your loved ones, what you would do to see them again. It is also including some physical abuse, so be warned about that as a trigger warning. And I just love when a movie or a book takes grief or loss and it turns it into an amazing journey of a story. When you think this movie has already broken your heart a couple of times and you're about to cry again, then something happens and you want to cry again. Like, it is breaking your heart continuously, but then something else happens to kind of release that tension, release that drama. So it is so well executed when it comes to the pacing and the editing, making sure that it's not gonna turn into a full-on drama or a full-on horror. It's kind of like giving you a little bit of everything at the right times, and I just absolutely love the pacing of this movie. This movie really felt like one of those movies that are kind of like a puzzle that you have to put together, and when you think you have all of the pieces and something else happens and you realize that what you were suspecting is not what's happening. And this movie is just so smart, and sadly I cannot tell you all of the things that I absolutely love because those are spoilers, but trust me, this movie also has a little bit of horror into it. There is blood in this movie, so you know, I don't know why it was not also mentioned as a horror thriller, but you know, it has a lot of different elements. Like I said, it has sci-fi, fantasy, mystery, thriller, horror. It's kind of like a mix of all of it, and when you have a movie that it's mixing and combining so many different things, it is very easy for the movie to fail because they're not focusing on just one thing and they are maybe trying to achieve too many things at once. But in the case of the story and the way the story was designed for the viewer to slowly find out what was going to happen, I think it works so well. And the movie does jump back and forth between 1999 and the present time because we're following both women and what happened to them. Absolutely love this movie. Can I say that enough? Like, really recommend you to check it out. I ended up giving this movie a total of 4 stars, and I think it's one of the best horror exclusives that Netflix has released this year, probably together with His House, which is an amazing movie as well. So I'm glad that before the year ended they gave us another great horror thriller science fiction fantasy movie. Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed the spoiler-free movie review. Let me know down below if you have already checked it out. Maybe let me know which is your favorite South Korean movie. Doesn't matter the genre. Let's talk about it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching guys. Please give the video a big thumbs up for support. And if you want to follow me on other social media, as always the links are down below. And I hope to see you all in the next coffee time. Bye!